Welcome to the March to a Million podcast with Greg DuPont, founder of the Wealth Solutions Network. In this podcast, Greg shares his journey to positively impact 1 million lives by creating an army of financially minded attorneys who embrace an expanded role in their clients' lives. Greg and his guests challenge the status quo in the legal profession and the financial services industry, and show attorneys how they can improve their lives, provide greater value to their clients, and experience greater professional satisfaction. Join us in this movement and strengthen your business by learning how to solve your clients' most pressing financial problems.
Hello and welcome to another March to a Million podcast with your host, Greg DuPont. Today, he's going to be interviewing Reagan Allen. Greg, so where do we go with all of this stuff?
You know, Matt, the underlying part of WSN and the March to a Million is to help more people make more good decisions regarding their money. And when Reagan came to me and started talking about a program that he has that allows business owners to have greater leverage with the dollars that they're spending on their employees, I thought this is something that we needed to share with the members of WSN so they can share it with their business clients. So with that, Reagan, welcome and thank you for joining me here today.
Hey, thanks, Greg. I appreciate being here. Look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, so, as we were chatting the other day about this, you've outlined this program that, like I said, gives owners a lot more leverage on the dollars they're spending to provide benefits for their employees. So if you would, kind of just let's talk about an overview of this thing and how it can fit in for a business owner to, again, improve the benefits that their employees have. And it also has financial benefit to the employer himself. So what is this magical tool that you've got, Reagan?
So basically what it is, we classify it as an employee recruitment retention tool. But really what it is, it's a program that takes advantage of some of the things that were implemented during the Affordable Care Act, some of the rules and laws that went into effect during that time. This program really isn't new, but it's not mass marketed. It's been around for about 12 years. But what it does is it saves an employer about $600 in payroll tax per employee who participates. And then on the same time, because of the way that it's structured and some of the tax savings involved, it gives the employee on average about $125 a month pay increase. All of this is at no net cost to the employer and no net cost to the employee. It's all funded through some recaptured tax savings. Then on top of that, there's a lot more benefits that the employee receives being a participant.
So I've got familiarity with another program like this that we had a gentleman on the podcast a year or so ago about it, but more people need to know about these things. So let's talk a little bit more. Number one, it sounds too good to be true. The employer saves money and the employee saves money. So let's put that canard to rest. Is it too good to be true?
So basically the way that it's structured is it utilizes a Section 125 plan, which a lot of people would know that as maybe a cafeteria plan. And with Section 125, all that is an IRS code, and you can have as many plans underneath there as a business wants. So, for example, a lot of businesses right now, maybe they're using it for healthcare or for a dental plan or for an eye doctor plan. But all it does is it allows an employee to pre-tax benefits. So as long as they're qualified benefits, they're able to pre-tax it. So this plan does a similar type program where it pre-taxes a certain dollar amount to pay for the benefits. But then on the post-tax side, and I'll back up. So because of that, you're lowering the FICA match that an employer pays and an employee pays. So because of you're lowering the amount of wages that are being taxed, that's where the savings comes in for the employer, because they're not paying the 7.65 match on some of the employees' wages that are there.
Let me underscore that, see if I'm tracking. So if June Smith, my employee, is taking home $4,000, or not take home, her taxable income is $4,000. What this program does is that reduces the 4,000 by whatever this cost would be. And because of that reduction, then she's got less tax withholdings on her share, and the employer on the flip side of that has less contributions that he has to make on his share. So this allows everybody to benefit off of these things becoming a reduction of taxable income. Is that my track?
That's correct. That's correct. So yeah, so basically because the wages are lowered, both the employer and the employee are paying less in taxes. Now, if that's all that was done, obviously the employee would be walking away with less money, okay? Because you're lowering their income. But on the post-tax side, there is, as long as the employee participates in the program and utilizes, like I told you, there's benefits that come along with it. One of the benefits they have, I'll just give you a brief overview of the benefits real quick. So there's unlimited primary care and urgent care at no cost, zero copay, no out-of-pocket cost to the employee. All of their preventative care services are also covered at zero cost, zero copay, no out-of-pocket cost. For the family, there's 432 prescription drugs, tier 1 and tier 2 drugs that are covered, which is about 85 to 90% of the generic drugs that are most commonly prescribed out there. And those are at $0 or $1 at most. And then there's some telehealth medicine, there's veterinary medicine, virtual veterinary care, and a few other benefits as well. So those are the benefits that are provided to the employee. Now, when the employee first signs up, they do what's called a health assessment. And it's all HIPAA compliant. There's nothing we see, nothing, anything like that. It's all done through an app. So when you sign up, it takes about 10 or 15 minutes to go through the health assessment. So then what happens is each month, let's say, you're wanting to lose weight, or you're wanting to, you've got diabetes and you're wanting to know how to treat that. Or if you've got some other kind of disease that you're trying to treat, it'll prescribe a treatment plan for you. All this content comes from the Mayo Clinic. So each month there is emails, text messages, different things that say, hey, you need to log into the app and do your treatment plan. The treatment plan is typically videos about what you can do to make yourself better, your health better. And those are anywhere from a couple of minutes to maybe 5 minutes long. So as long as they participate, do what they're supposed to do each month and do their video, then that generates a CPT code, which allows an insurance benefit to be paid to them post-tax. And because it's post-tax, that money is not taxable. It's found under Section 104 of the IRS code. So that's basically how the employee gets made whole, plus the tax savings they get through the program ultimately ends up they're ahead about, on average, $125 a month.
So how does this interplay with existing healthcare coverage?
So basically what this does is it's an added value or an added benefit. It doesn't interfere with anything that's currently going on. What we like to say is really you should utilize it as a frontline defense to your health insurance instead of using your health insurance to go to your primary care doctor. Use this insurance because twofold. One, there's no copay, no out-of-pocket costs for you, and second of all, the way that a business's health insurance rates are determined, it's all done by what's called claim utilization. And so anytime you go to the doctor using your health insurance, whether it's for the sniffles or whether it's to see your primary care or you go to an urgent care, that's a claim that is then put onto your insurance. But by using the other insurance, all those claims are kept separate and apart. So when the business goes to renew, their claim utilization has gone down. So hopefully in time, that would equate to a lower premiums that they ultimately end up paying.
So let me bring this home for myself. So, small law firm, right? We've got basically through the Columbus Bar Association, we have their group insurance plan, whatever the heck that is.
Right.
Which my wife is always complaining about because we have it's a high deductible and nothing is covered by our program. So this would be a gap filler that could maybe make my wife not quite as upset about her healthcare insurance.
Well, I don't necessarily want to call it a gap filler, but it is in essence, and what I like to call it is just, frontline defense. So basically, with your current health insurance, I'm sure you can go to your primary care doctor. So it's not really filling a gap, but instead of that, utilize the other insurance, because that way your health insurance, it doesn't register a claim against it. And so when you go to renew, it shows less claims, which ultimately are the drivers for your health insurance premiums.
And potentially might be able to get the prescription drugs at a lower cost than through my plan.
Yeah, either at a lower cost, because like I said, it's 432 prescribed medications at $0 or $1 at most. And, right now, prescription drugs are one of the largest drivers of increase in healthcare premiums. For example, we've got a large, it's actually, I think, the largest county in the United States that they're getting ready to enroll or in the process of enrolling. There's about 30,000 people that they're enrolling on the program. One of the major costs or drivers for their health insurance premiums was the prescription drugs. And by switching, not switching, I want to say that, by adding this program as a frontline defense, just in prescription drug costs, they're going to be saving millions and millions of dollars. First of all, because those dollars that employees would have had to been paying for the prescription drugs are going to be at $0 or $1. Their claim utilization will go way down. And so when you look at it from a premium standpoint, their premiums are going to be significantly lower when they go to renew.
So getting back to the employee perspective on this for a second, you mentioned that several things can be part of the program. How does that get allocated? So is it the employer sponsors the program and then the employee gets to choose what things they want as part of their particular plan?
So all of the benefits come with the plan. So it is a completely voluntary plan. So yes, the employer sponsors it. The employer offers it to the employees. If they want to participate, then they get the benefits that I mentioned: the primary care, urgent care, zero copay, no out-of-pocket cost, the preventative care, the prescription drugs, the telehealth, the televet. All of that is for the entire family. The urgent care and primary care and the preventative are just the employee only. But they get all of those benefits wrapped into one package. Plus, on average, they see about $125 pay increase. If they don't want to participate, they don't have to. They just go on. They don't get any of those benefits and won't see a pay increase.
And then let's talk about the televet. So my dog, my wonderful 100-pound Bernese Mountain Dog, who doesn't find something in the street she doesn't like to eat every day, she gags on something like this. I call the vet and say, she's ate a sock. What do I do?
Yeah, so it's just like going to the vet, except you're doing it virtually. So and it's 24 hours a day, 375 days a week. So, if your dog's starting to throw up or act funny or do something at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can just jump onto the app, click there. You'll be connected with a certified vet, and you can ask them any questions. They can prescribe medications, and they do it for all kinds of animals.
So what type of companies is this type of thing a good fit for?
The only thing that is required for the program is the business has to have at least 5 employees who can participate. Because of the owner of the business, they're not allowed to participate. So it'd be 5 people and above and beyond that. The owner can't participate because they see the savings from the employer's tax side. And so if they own more than 2% of the business under IRS guidelines, rules, and everything, if they were to try to participate in the program, then that's what's called double dipping. So that's the IRS does not allow that. So it'd be 5 W-2 employees, and on average, they need to make about $18,000 to $20,000 a year. So those are really the only two qualifications. But we've done this for small businesses, large businesses. We've done it for municipalities, for unions. We've done it for all kinds of businesses. So, construction companies, manufacturing companies, restaurants seem to be a big one, hospitals, you name it. I mean, there's just any business that wants to save some money on payroll tax, basically, is kind of the way it goes.
And here from Central Ohio, you can work with people throughout the country?
Yes. The company that has this program has about 11,000 agents all throughout the country who are promoting the program, and it's in every state in the United States. So,
and just one more time, so kind of in a bullet point fashion, the potential benefits for the employees are we have the augmented health insurance with all that and all that. If you just run that through one more time.
Sure. So from the employee standpoint, they see on average about $125 pay increase. They get the primary care and urgent care, zero copay out of pocket, all their preventative services at zero copay, no out of pocket. Then for the employee and the family, they get the prescription drug program, which is tier 1 and tier 2, 432 mostly prescribed drugs at either zero copay or $1. They get telehealth medicine. So, if you're sick or, you got a rash, you got something going on, instead of going to the doctor, you just jump on the app. You can see a certified doctor, and I think within a minute or two. And if you need prescription medication, they can prescribe it. So you've got a doctor 24/7, 365. Same thing with the vet. If your pet's sick, 24/7, 365, they can prescribe medications and do anything for you there. They also have at-home testing lab kits at zero copay, no out of pocket, that they'll send for various testing things. Right now, you've probably seen commercials for like colonoscopy or, those type of things. Check your colon. They can send you those lab tests at home to do some of those testing. So those are the kind of the main benefits for the employee. It's the pay raise and all the benefits that I mentioned. For the employer, they'll see about a $600 savings on payroll tax per year per employee who participates.
If I recall correctly from the interview I had with another fellow with a similar program, that 600 per employee credit is like an immediate credit, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, so I mean, it usually takes 30 days to get everything implemented, but yes, it's savings every month. As soon as we get the program enrolled, it starts the savings and everything. And what I forgot to mention was, and all this is at no net cost to the employer or the employee. It's all, like I said, funded through the recapture tax savings.
So not to go back to this too good to be true, but what are the downsides of participating in a plan like this?
So there really isn't a downside for the employer. The only downside for the employee would really be is if they don't participate. Now they've got 12 months to do their videos that I told you about and everything. So as long as they're doing their videos and everything, they will receive their benefit and everything. But if they do not, let's say we're in month 11 or month 12 and they haven't completed all their videos and it rolls over to month 13 and they didn't do that, then whatever number of videos that they did not complete within that 12-month period of time, whatever that money is that they receive, then it would be up to the employee to claim that as taxable income.
So you said this was part of Obamacare. It came out of that stuff.
It was a program that was developed because of some of the laws that they put in place. Yes.
Gotcha. So, as politically charged as that whole thing is, has your team seen any evidence that this is something that is under scrutiny and looking for reversal maybe with legislative?
Well, I mean, the way that the program has been in place, Section 125 has been around since 1978. So that's not going anywhere. And then the way that we're utilizing Section 104 has been around since, I think, the 1980s. So there's really not anything new that we're doing. What the stuff that happened in the Affordable Care Act really was allowing some of these, what they call participatory programs to come about. So we really don't see anything changing or happening unless they completely decide to, revamp and do away with the tax law.
So Matt, in a second, I'm going to ask you to come back in off the wall, Mr. Fly. And before then, so Reagan, as I'm understanding this, if you are an attorney out there that works with businesses and you're always looking to add value, and that's why you're listening to WSN, my stuff, and trying to figure out how to bring more value, you're able to walk in the door to a client that's got, call it 30 employees, and say, hey, I've got a way that I can save you 18 grand a year while getting your employees back an average of $100 plus or minus a month and giving them some enhanced benefits. Would you be interested in talking?
Yeah, absolutely. And for those type of people, if they're an attorney or somebody who knows somebody who thinks it might be a fit for, we do have what we call a referral partner agreement. So that person could also receive a little bit of compensation for helping introduce us to the business. And it is a residual payment.
So Matt, come off the wall, please.
I'm here. So I just said there's just a couple of things that I think are interesting to point out. Number one, if you're trying to hire a team or retain the best employees, everything that was just talked about today is just another kind of arrow in your quiver, right? Just another thing that you can do to make it so that you're going to attract and retain the best people in the whole wide world. And on top of that, just makes you look, my second thing, just makes you look like a smarter business person. Right? Being able to understand the laws that are out there and how you can go ahead and use them to the advantage of your practice just seems to make a lot of sense. So, all right, Greg. So if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about WSN, right before we wrap this puppy up, because I love how you just said, this is why people listen to the show, because if you're an attorney who are looking at ways to grow your practice, retain great employees, and really be a difference maker within your community, where should they go? What should they?
As we've always said, go to www. Do I have too many W's in there, Matt?
I think you were close to going to the fourth one, but I think you had three there. So
3 W's, joinwsn.com. And also, same 3 W's, theretirementtaxtrap.com. The book is out, ready to read.
And if you have not gotten a copy of that book, it needs to be on your bookshelf, right? This is one of those things where if you're looking for really great, clear, succinct education to really help you grow your practice, that is the book. And we'll make sure that we have both of those links in the show notes. So for Reagan and Greg, this is Matt Heller, and we'll see you on the other side of the mic very soon.
Thank you for listening to the March to a Million podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available, and get in touch with our team by visiting our website at www.wealthsolutionsgroup.biz, or give us a call at 614-432-8065. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Wealth Solutions Network. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice from qualified financial service providers with any questions you may have.